Hey people, Injured here, 3v3, Estia Province, blue team. We've got Deckard plays a force commander, very good offense, fights in melee combat, can also tank, disrupt and support with buffs. I think this is the Lunar Wolves Heresy era elite scheme, recolored. Alongside che1349 is a Lord General, fights range combat, has a retinue to help him out, really good defense and support capabilities, and a moustache. And rounding off this blue team is Slaaneshi Cacophony, plays an Eldar Farseer support commander that fights in melee combat. Some really awesome buffs with some debuffs and control abilities too. This is the Ulthway DLC. Pretty cool it is. And red team Phoenix is a Techmarine, starts off range combat, does some good damage, can also support with structures and repair and deal with enemy vehicles quite nicely. So it's a Space Marine mirror on the west side. Boom. Mid though, we have two Chaos Sorcerers. First up is Maestro Cretella, and we also have the Great Cornholio. These are offensive commanders that can disrupt and manipulate enemy units. Some decent killing potential as well. Looks like Slaaneshi has gone wide on the eastern flank, and the two sorcerers are focusing mid. There's that very dangerous Doom Bolts. Can be pretty difficult to dodge that thing since it covers a reasonably large area. Some Tzeentch worship infiltrating the CSM behind this small amount of heavy cover. Doesn't seem to be covering all of the units though. And this is 2.3.1 H2. A couple of hot fixes came out, fixing some vital things, namely Grey Knight Strike Squad now doing their intended damage. A bunch of fixes for CSM Slaughter as well, and the Chimera adjusted. Farseer goes down early on, had Spirit Stones on the way, was probably trying to wait for that heal to live, but does go down. And now che1349 is alone. Double sorcerers probably means you want to not get any setup teams in tier 1, and Deckard might want to avoid getting Terminators too, because that could be a really bad idea. 500, 485, 2-to-1 cap for the blue team. He has the west side, but it's not capping that contested wreck point. He's coming mid to face this Techmarine, who has a sniper rifle scout squad. These things radically reworked, of course, in 2.3.1. Now do less damage per shot, but fire much more often. It is a nerf, since you always want more burst damage on your weapons, but they are cheaper and pretty much really effective still, in my experience. I've faced them many times. I don't use them, so I can't speak to that, but they certainly are still pretty aggravating to face. We have Havocs on the field for both Cretella and Cornholio, so they've got the exact same outfield build at the moment. Any war gear, we do see Cornholio go for Vestments of the Warp, and Slaaneshi Cacophony with Rangers. We're probably going to see double Rangers, especially when he sees the double Havocs. He might have seen them already. Catechins on the field. These guys were another very important fix in the hotfix updates. They now start with their intended 900 hit points instead of the 700. There was an entity bug which meant they had way less than they should at the start. As you can see, those guys have 1050 hit points. That's because they've purchased their Demolition Man upgrade, which no longer gives them a model, but it does still give you the plus 25 hit points per model, so they get that plus 150 from it, as well as the cool abilities, of course. Ouch, hit by Doom Bolts, and Heretics were in retreat path. If they went the other way around that wreck point, that might have been a dead Catechin squad. Lord General now caught by Doom Blast, double Doom Blast coming in, and the Heretics are retreated out. Those Heretics doing a good job there for Cornholio, and now he has the Sword of Flame. Really nice melee weapon with damage over time, gives you the coruscating flame, and he's caught some Rangers there. Gets a couple of models, in fact. That was nasty. 500, 408. Let's look at this west side though. Sniper Scouts taking out a Tactical Marine as they retreated away. Flamer is up. Looks like he got a power bash, maybe, or maybe they just haven't built there. Techmarine taking the VP. His Tactical Marines taking the wreck point. No sign of a power push, but let's look at the mid. Cretella's Sorcerer, level 2 already, is forced off. He must have hit some nasty Doom Blasts, Doom Bolts I should say. And look at these Heretics shooting their auto pistols correctly with an animation and sound effect and everything that was fixed in 2.3.1. Somehow Relic managed to completely break that when they released Retribution, and it's still broken to this day, which is why the Heretics ranged weapons just fire without any kind of animation or anything. But the Elite guys worked it out, and now it's working again. Grenade hits a model, but doesn't take him down. His Chaos Space Marine's done a really good job now trying to tie up the Rangers, and still haven't lost the model. Coruscating Flame is up on them. He needs to retreat them surely. Really pushing his luck here. Really pushing his luck. He's still in play. 2 Rangers getting shots in, taking out 2 models, and that was needless losses, I think, from Cornholio. Could have retreated them and should have retreated them way earlier, avoiding those losses and making it a really good engagement, but losing those 2 CSM models made it not so good. The Force Commander with his Chainsword and Storm Shield gives him the very imaginatively titled Defend, which gives, as you can see, suppression and range resistance. Actually, suppression immunity, which does reduce speed. Also has Artificer, trying to counter this Tarantula turret from the Phoenix. Are we going to see Assault Marines? We do see Assault Marines. And Shay going tier 2 with those Catechans. Slaaneshi going tier 2 with double Rangers, and Maestro Cretella going tier 2. Also, Cornholio is ready to go, but he's floating a little bit. Devastators on the field for Phoenix in retreat, and his Stormtroopers on the way for Shay. A pretty decent blind build, really, in tier 2. Only cost you wreck out the gates, and pretty useful in both of their forms. So a good blind bite. 441-397, and it's going to be the 2 Space Marine players, the last to go tier 2. No spotters on the field for Shay, despite the double Havocs. The double Rangers, I suppose, doing a good job at the moment, but they are countered somewhat by the Tzeentch worship having to get close to detect them. And they're going to be easier to push now, of course, since they're doing less damage up front with each shot. They're going to be bleeding less models initially, so you're going to have more models around for that counter push. As soon as you see those Ranger shots come in, be aggressive and go after them. And I think Slaaneshi needs to be ready for that. It looks like he cancelled his Spirit Stones purchase. He might want to get the Mind War Ghost Helm, since I have a feeling one of these Chaos Space Marine players, or maybe even both of them, are going to get Mark of Khorne CSM. They were buffed in 2.3.1, and in general will be useful for closing down those Rangers quickly. Assault Marines are going to jump, are they? No, they're just going to walk into the turret. That was a really nice, powerful sweep by the Techmarine. I wonder if we'll see the axe from this guy. I'm not sure why he didn't jump the Tarantula turret. Lost a lot of health. He perhaps didn't need to, but down it goes anyway. 390, 397. A flamer, obviously incredibly effective versus a turret with that suppression immunity. He does get away. Assault Squad will be fine with over 100 hit points as they retreat out. 382, 397. Red team pushing up through the mid. Now they have a Falcon to deal with. Are we going to see some las cannon action? Maestro Cetella's getting one. He cancels it though, so Plague Marines on the way. Was thinking maybe he'd wait for a Mark of Tzeentch Dreadnought, but he goes for the Plague Marines. 370, 397. Falcon milling around the east side. There has been a few updates, by the way, to this map. This eastern contested battle brought inwards, and all of the bases moved slightly so that the west side is slightly less isolated. Some shot blockers also removed or moved around. There's more space in the middle here and more space through here. So some slight changes. Look at this, a web brigade going up from Slaaneshi. That could be good for helping him bash his power, but he's bashing it head on at the moment. And we do see some Mark of Khorne CSM from Maestro Cretella. 1650 hit points at level 1 with 20% health increase. That was 15%, I believe. He's got them fully upgraded as well with Eternal War. No, he doesn't have Eternal War, in fact. He has the Aspiring Champion. Gives them that Melt Pistol, which is pretty cool. Will help him chase down the Falcon. In fact, they take down one of the Ranger squads. Wow, they pay off immediately. Rangers taking the garrison. Plague Marines on the field, as you can see there, and these Mark of Khorne CSM are not giving up the chase. Now they are being shot up though pretty badly. 344, 389, and they retreat out before they lose stuff. Grenade on the heretics. Ouch, that was nasty. Lost about, I think, 7 or 8 units, or 7 or 8 models I should say, and in fact does get one of his heretics whacked. Gets both of them whacked. In fact, a nice flank outwards there from Shay from the middle, and he's buffing all of his stuff with the melter guns, reducing cooldown and thus increasing DPS for weapons that have cooldown. Ouch, and nice dark flames though there, I think, from Cornholio. Wow, that was painful. 344, 366 from his global bar, that ability. Plasma cannon devastators on the field for Phoenix. One of the big changes in 2.3.1 were Space Marine Devastators and Havocs all getting melee resistance, which is a massive deal for them. There's a 40% damage resistance versus melee attacks, so helps them greatly versus jump troops and makes them in general a bit more difficult to force off, and makes snipers perhaps a bit more attractive versus them, since that melee resistance won't affect a sniper rifle shooting at your neck. Force Commander does get away, and we do see an Axe of the Mechanicum. Techmarine, here's a Dreadnought though, so I imagine we're going to see orbs immediately. Yes, we do, from Phoenix. He has a plasma cannon. Are we going to see? Yes, missile launcher. Dreadnought doesn't want to be there. He's really overextending this here. He knows he's up against a Techmarine. Knows that the orbs are a possibility. In fact, he now knows that there are orbs, since it does give the grenade decorator. The Dreadnought is quite rightly backing the head off there. Lots of action mid continues. 344, 323. Maestro Cretella does replace one of his heretics, sending them in with a warp rift. Also has demon armor. They teleported right into a levitation field though from the gravity blade. 344, 312. There are those Mark of Khorne CSM going ballistic on the Farseer. Can they take her out? Falcon taking shots from the Plague Marines meanwhile, and this might be a dead Falcon. It should be, yes, definitely. The Plague Marines getting a rear armor hit, and as you saw there, Slaaneshi getting these units out before it went down so he could get that retreat going. 344, 299. The Techmarine pinned back on this west side, but he's going to town on his Assault Marines here with his axe. He's level 3 and might get another model. Yes, he does, doing very well with that thing. Multi-melter Dreadnought. I love these things. Can he finish off the Razorback with it? Really good damage to all targets from close range. Surely he's going to take out that Razorback. He might lose the Dreadnought here. Down goes a Razorback, but there are missile launcher tactical Marines and an orb incoming any second now, maybe. He's not, doesn't seem to want it. Oh, down it goes anyway. Missile launcher got a hit, and down goes a Dreadnought. It's a big loss for Deckard. Look at this, Cornholio with a Mark of Tzeentch Dreadnought. Falcon is already down, but will help going into tier 3, and Shay is already there, and Slaaneshi is going, as is Maestro Cretella. Cornholio lost his CSM. He's getting some heretics now, and they're both these sorcerers bashing power, and should be able to do a pretty decent job here. No sign of resistance. The blue players are actually bashing themselves, so might see a swap here in terms of the power. Havocs need to reposition for Cretella. Face outwards. There we go. 2-to-1 cap for blue team. They seem to, red team seem to be having the better of the engagements, but since this Western VP has been blue for quite a while, the blue team do have that VP advantage. Can they turn that into power bashes though over here? This node is nearly down. 344, 244.
Hostiles.
Maybe Shay should have come over that west side momentarily to bash power when Phoenix was pushed back like that. But the two sorcerers are pressing mid quite hard, so I suppose he feels the need to be here to protect this power, which has actually gone down. Did they both get bashed? Looks like that one was either replaced quickly or didn't get bashed. Did he lose his stormtroopers? No, they got away. No, they did go down. the roster icon just took a while to disappear. So that was a little bit sloppy there, losing his stormtroopers, but it does have a Leman Russ on the field. There's a Dark Flames in retreat path and Curse of Tzeentch from one of the sorcerers. It's Maestro Cretella, one of the commanders that can benefit greatly from some gear swaps is the sorcerer. 337244. Another Tarantula turret being repaired here, and Phoenix has a dreadnought of his own. 332244. Fire Prism on the field for Slaaneshi, so the Plague Marines and Chaos Dreadnought are going to have some work to do with their anti-vehicle weapons. And we do see an autocannon for Cretella. Havocs, these guys still with their heavy bolter, so they do still have that suppression around, which could continue to be incredibly annoying. Cornholio doing a good job harassing these Rangers. Can't see them now though unless he gets really close. Just having trouble forcing off this sorcerer level 3, being really annoying. 321244, west side is turning red. Perhaps not for long though. The Techmarine is there, level 4, doing well with that axe. Ouch. Techmarine gets his tactical marines caught. He's level 3. Doesn't want to lose them, but they should be fine. But here comes Shay with that double I was talking about. And can he get a power pass? Surely he's looking to. Doesn't have a dreadnought to deal with big plasma cannon shot. Ouch. Trying to help him take out the turret, I think. But a dreadnought closing in. And now has a multi-melter. He's going to try and chase down this Leman Russ. Another change in 2.3.1 is a minimum range on these Walker anti-vehicle weapons. The reason being that they were sometimes firing while they were in melee combat, which gave them some really good damage potential while they were smacking on tanks and even smacking on other walkers. So then there's now a minimum range. It's very small though for the multi-melter. I think it's only 5 meters or 3 meters for the multi-melter. For the other anti-vehicle weapons, it's a bit longer since the multi-melter is already quite short range. Dreadnought is back at base, or back at his allies' base. Anyway, here's another web brigade, and this one is still up here. Look at this. Plague Marines pushing forward from Cretella at level 3 and trying to cap, but there is that levitation field. He's not hit retreat, there we go. And is that a mistake? Should he have pushed his Dire Avengers up to grenade there? Suppose he's not that likely to get squad wipes on these very tough Plague Marines, but he's trying to throw them on the Heretics. Couldn't quite get far enough forward. Needed to get those Dire Avengers moving much quicker. West side kicking off. It is blue, and we have Heavy Bolter Devastators, Plasma Devastators, and a Force Commander persisting with his Storm Shield, pushing forward, but that is a rocket run, and that's a dead Plasma Cannon. Can he finish off the other Devastators? No, they live. Decent rocket run then from Shay. That's the global nuke of the Imperial Guard faction. Down goes the scouts. Damage of a time helping there. Oh, time field. One of the best abilities, hands down, in team games. It's so cost effective, shutting down perhaps an entire army if they are close together. 3-2-1-1-9-3. And the blue team pushing through mid, trying to harass this VP, but CSM are in amongst things. We do have double Plasma Guardsmen though, so those CSM are taking, wow, huge amounts of damage. That is nasty. Trying to chase down these Stormtroopers and can't quite manage it, and he might lose them here. And it's going to be a massive shame for him because these guys are level 3 and he is going to lose them, isn't he? Yeah, just chase for too long. Hits on retreat and loses his CSM. It does have a Marco Tzeentch Chaos Predator though. And Shay has lost his Leman Russ. Meanwhile, west side, blue team capping. It's Tactical Marines doing so they do have that faster capping trait. Down goes the Fire Prism. Marco Tzeentch Predator catching it, I think, on rear armor there. Sniper Scouts doing their thing. Here is that Sorcerer of Cornholio, done a really good job teleporting around and smacking stuff with this Sword of Flame. Can't quite get a model off these Tactical Marines, or can he? Yes, he can. Or at least he helped to. I think it was a sniper rifle that got a last shot. Dreadnought getting repairs. We have a Marco Tzeentch Dreadnought, which is level 3 now for Cornholio. Shay going for some Kasrkin, and back and forth in mid does not let up. It's Maestro Cretella pushing through for a decap there. Look at this, Seer Council on the field for Slaaneshi. Is that going to turn around and bite him with Tome of Subjugation or something? Cornholio doesn't have an accessory yet, and he is going for the Tome of Subjugation and has a Land Raider Phobos on the field. That could be a massive mistake, because we could see Time Field Eldritch from Slaaneshi Cacophony. Time Field, even without a nuke, is going to be pretty damn bad news for the Phobos. Oh no, Deckard has got Assault Terminators, and Cornholio is questioning that decision, and I would question it also. I suppose, yeah, he's saying he's mainly fighting the Space Marines, but still really, really risky. 272, 178 only takes one of the Terminators over there to subjugate them, and he's basically lost that engagement most likely, or in worst case scenarios gets his Terminators taken out. Kicking off big time now over red team's natural victory point. Chaos Predator goes down. Look at all that debuffing from the Chaos Terminators. These guys debuffing with every kill, demoralizing all nearby enemies. Look at that. Decreasing the damage they do and increasing the damage they take. It can rack up pretty nicely, especially if you get the autocannon, which I suspect he is going to get. We do have a whole bunch of plasma guns still. What about the Kasrkin? They do not have a weapon upgrade yet. They do have their sergeant, who has been buffed quite heavily in 2.3.1 to give him some much needed extra damage to be alongside this tier 3 squad. Phoenix with a Predator tank on the way, and Cornholio with a Phobos and a Chaos Predator. Where is his Phobos? I've not seen it yet. I was over on this west side. There's a beacon as well there from Phoenix. Ouch, there's that autocannon. The Chaos autocannon is crazy on the Havocs. It's just mad. If you get two of them, you just absolutely melt everything. Dreadnought eats a melter. Here are those Terminators, and they are being buffed by Battle Cry and the Chainsword and Storm Shield. Where is Cornholio's Sorcerer? He's going over there, so we might see them subjugated. Dreadnought for Phoenix trying to tie up stuff, but does go down. Massive engagement here. This could be telling. This actually could be really telling. If someone has a really bad engagement here and loses a bunch of stuff, it could really screw up his team for the rest of the game. Vital time as you get midway through tier 3. Tier 3 units start to get on the field and start to level up if they're doing well, and that's when factions can steamroll in tier 3. That Predator tank just about getting away. The Phobos now coming into play, getting big shots on those Assault Terminators. Wow, and they are taking a lot of damage from the Chaos Dreadnought as well. This guy is level 4. Awesome. Assault Terminators need to flee, don't stand around. We have a las cannon Predator tank. Really surprised not to see a Librarian from Deckard, knowing that these Terminators can get in so much trouble on this map. Venturing forward. Really surprised not to see either a Librarian or waiting and saving his resources for a Land Raider Redeemer. Chaos Terminators do have their autocannon on the way. 219, 167. Fire Prism for Slaaneshi Cacophony getting shots in. One of them already went down, of course. No sign of a D cannon, but he does have a Guardian Weapon team with Bright Lance. Look at the wreck. Phoenix is floating. Noise Marines on the way for Cornholio. I assume he's going to get a Blast Master and put them over on that west side to cover the VP. 219, 150. 2-to-1 cap for blue team. So they are holding onto these VPs, especially that west side in blue, for a lot of the game. There's that time field though, so very, very dangerous for those Terminators. We don't have any Dark Reapers, but if those Seer Council get in amongst them with the... Where are the Seer Council? No idea. Why does it take me to the Predator tank when I select the Seer Council? Because I can't select them. It must be inside a web radiator, I suppose. There's a rocket run. Killing some... No, not killing any Plague Marines. These guys are level 4. They do not care about your Valkyrie rocket runs. 217, 139. 1-to-1 cap. And some more Terminators this time from Phoenix. Storm Bolters and Power Fists. So he'll probably want to try and get a Land Raider up if he can. He needs to save a lot though. Shay has a Baneblade on the way, and Slaaneshi almost has enough red for an Eldritch, so he might see one dropped on that Phobos later on. Fire Prism goes down. What finished it off? No idea. Absolutely no idea. 217, 139. Seer Council now moving up, supported by the Eldar Farseer. She only has Guide to support them though. There's that time field. Slowing down your own units, it does, but they can attack inside it unlike enemy units. Massive engagement here. Down goes yet another vehicle. And down goes that one also. That Chaos Dreadnought is doing huge amounts of damage with this Tzeentch missile launcher. Assault Terminators moving in. Have not seen them be subjugated yet. I'm sure they have been. Assault Terminators going after this Predator tank. Tank's not faring so well on this in this game so far. There's a Chaos Shrine to Tzeentch, and there is the Dirge Caster. What is this drop? Please be a Venerable. Yes, it is. That is awesome. Dropped right on the face of those Terminators. And they don't really want to fight this thing with its melee resistance. They really don't. Look how far Deckard is pushing these guys. That is a massive, massive, crazy risk. Why are you pushing that far? Down goes the Force Commander. He's now going to lose his Assault Terminators. And that was a massive misplay, I think, from Deckard. Yes, he was trying to get a Predator tank, but it was not worth the risk. Just back away. Get your Force Commander, Teleporter and Power Fist, and you'd be having a whale of a time on this west side. 161, 139. Deckard has opened up the possibility to cap here though for his team. Baneblade not pushing forward against the Phobos. It will beat a Phobos quite easily given its huge amount of hit points compared to the Phobos with just 2,000. Jumping in are Assault Marines, level 2. Uh-oh, running into a Venerable Dreadnought though, and that was painful. Emperor's Fist right on their face, and they might go down in retreat. Yes, they do. Deckard kind of falling apart at the end of the game. But it happens in 3v3s, it really does. Deckard does have a nuke ready, and Slaaneshi does have his nuke ready. So that could be vital there, because they are kind of setting up defensive positions, red team. As our blue team, they have a bunker supporting them, a repair bunker. Scouts edging forward to get line of sight. And there's the orbital, 157, 139. Spreads it out. No, he doesn't really spread it out. You need to spread out the orbital, I think. Catch as many things as you can. But as it turns out, it's not going to do a whole deal with it. He took out the shrine. That was pretty much it. Forces off some tactical marines. Baneblade under attack, being repaired by guardsmen, and the bunker has been stolen. No, it hasn't. It's been retaken there. For the blue team, Eldritch Storm on the Phobos. Need to follow it up though, and there's nothing really to do so. Havocs with Tzeentch las cannon from Cornholio. Now in retreat, but down goes the Baneblade. The Venerable Dreadnought going absolutely ballistic here at level 2. Doesn't have Dark Age of Technology, but almost has 2,000 hit points already. Without Dark Age of Technology, this Tactical Marine just about getting away. This Venerable has been absolutely awesome. Inspiring on kill, of course. Slaaneshi now getting a guarded weapon team, but that was the end of the blue team, I think. They just got wrecked there. Cyclone missile launcher on the Terminators. Deckard Beginning of the end, pushing forward his Terminators to certain death there. Not getting a Librarian to support them, which was just a bad call in general, I think. Rangers wiped there. Look at that, Doombolts doing work late game. 135, 139. Here's a great unclean one from Cretella. See a Council in amongst the Terminators, which is where he's been wanting to get them. Looks like they are buffed with Guide also. But here's a great unclean one. There's a Cloud of Flies. Great unclean one, unfortunately nerfed in 2.3.1. Now does not do splash damage with his regular weapon attacks. Does extra damage per hit, but losing the splash damage was a big deal. Especially since I think the splash damage actually affected the model you're hitting, so it doesn't actually make any difference in that regard if that's true. Lord General still down. Red team sitting pretty on the west side, and blue team only option really is just trying to push mid and try and catch the red team napping, but I don't really see that happening. Cornholio especially has been really lively between the mid and the west side. Terminators on capping duty for Cretella, sensing weakness, pushing forward to decat. We do have some Dark Creepers from Slaaneshi. Grand Cleon getting hits. And there's that time field. Look at the plasma damage, or the inferno damage I should say, from the Dark Creepers doing damage to that Grand Cleon. He's well in enemy territory and is not exactly the most mobile guy. We do have double Sorcerers though, so could get warped back to safety with the Sorcerer Global. Chaos Terminator is losing a model. There is some subjugated Seer Council. It's a level 9 Chaos Sorcerer from Cornholio. 90, 139. Terminator is caught with the levitation field. There's not going to do a whole lot to them apart from hold them up. And here come the Seer Council. Can he take down these Chaos Terminators? It's going to be a hollow victory, I think. But you never know. Might be the end. That might be the beginning of a comeback here. He's chasing. No sign of warp being used to save these units. Maybe it's on cooldown. Not sure why it's not being used, but he's going to lose his Terminators. But the Grand King one is warped out by Cretella. I suppose he had to choose between them if Cornholio wasn't going to do it. 79, 139. 2-to-1 cap for the red team. Big Spirit Stones heal, did I see? Yes, level 6 Farseer. Blue team are pushing through the mid. It's Kasrakin who gets subjugated, and an Imperial Abyss. Ouch. Kasrakin run right through the middle of it, but do get out the other end. 63, 139. That Kasrakin Sergeant is now a die last Sergeant, I believe, as well. Venerable Dreadnought still stomping around, and still does not have the Dark Aids of Technology at level 3. Are you kidding me? There's a rocket run. The third one of the game. Wow, Shay has got tons of red in this game. 49, 139. Red team defending their natural, and they're having to do so, but they do take it back for the 2-to-1. 45, 139. So it's been a valiant effort from blue team, but since that big push on the west side, with the Baneblade going down just after the Terminators went down, it's been an uphill struggle. Seer Council level 2. Right Lance getting shots on that Phobos. There is the Dirge Caster and subjugated Seer Council again. So I think some composition mistakes on the blue team. Shouldn't have really got Seer Council, I think. I know it's very attractive to do so when you can send them into Terminators, but with that subjugation there, this is what happens. Venerable Dreadnought, 2117 hit points to level 3. Would have almost 2,500 if he had the Dark Age of Technology. 13,139. There's the 2-to-1 for red. They're going to see out this game, I think. Shay making a last-ditch effort to take the west side, but it's not going to be enough. You see the ruins of his chances right there with the Baneblade. 3-139. Red team are going to take it, and Sorcerers dominating, I think, doing a really good job. Level 10 2 level 10 sorcerers. That just tells the story. Cretella's with the Rod of Warpfire, Demon Armor, and Tome of Subjugation also had the Sigil of the Rift to switch to. Cornholio with Rod of Warpfire also had the Sword of Flames to switch to. Vestments of the Warp did a lot of pressure with this early on, killing rangers and stuff, which set back Slaaneshi. And Tome of Subjugation, the Techmarine level 7 with Axum Mechanicum, Bionics, and Orbs. The Force Commander still had the Chainsaw and Storm Shield at the end of the game, and Artificer, Lord General level 6 with those melter guns and stabilizers. And the Farseer level 6 with Gravity Blade, Spirit Stones, and the Armor of the Assyrian. There you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.